All right, we're going to get a chiropractor's advice on how to beat headaches and back pain when we come back.
But many of us are struck down by regular and recurring headaches and migraines, which painkillers just can't get rid of. So what are the other options, and how does the way we sleep affect the problem? Auckland chiropractor Doug Blackbourn has a few suggestions, and he's with me now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How do you know if you are getting a lot of headaches that they could be related to the way you're sleeping or something to do with your spine as opposed to some other cause of headaches?
Good question. One thing you look at first off is to try different pillows. Try the different pillows around the house and see if it changes it. The other point you're going to find is often when you change your head position, it's either going to make it worse or make it better. There's other points also you'll find is around the base of the skull, which typically sits, my little friend here, just on through here where the muscles.
Sorry, that's the back, isn't it?
This is the back. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, those are the sorts of things I need to know.
Yeah, well, we've got the back through here. It's one model of the spine. So we have the back and the front. So what we normally should have is when you look at the spine, we should have normal three curves. One in the neck going to the front, mid-back, and then the lower spine.
Okay.
Now what tends to happen is that when the spine gets out of alignment, it sometimes causes what we call a subluxation, which is where the vertebra twist and lock.
Okay.
That will cause a change. That will then put pressure on the nerves, but also...
That's sort of taken that curve out there.
Yeah, and puts pressure on the muscles, because the muscles are having to work harder.
Okay.
One thing I guess a lot of people don't realise is that when your head goes about an inch forward, it can increase the tenfold force of the neck muscles trying to hold the head up.
Okay, so that could happen by sleeping on the wrong type of pillow. So if you're feeling sort of pain up through the back of your neck and so forth, could well be related to it. Change the pillows around a few times. If you're noticing that it's a little bit different, I mean, you obviously at that point could changing a pillow full time be enough to fix your problem?
It can relieve it. If the problem is actually more insidious in through there, the pillow may make it easier, but it tends to show up because your movement will be restricted. And quite often the thing you'll find with people is you should be able to turn your head so your chin becomes parallel to your shoulder.
Right.
So certain movements that somebody can check to see if is my function okay.
Okay, let's have a look at these pillows here. This is the kind of pillow that a lot of us will be used to seeing. Just a good old...
Feather and down pillow.
Feather and down pillow.
Okay, not one that you can mould. So one thing you need to look for with pillows is something that is going to adapt to your shape. A lot of people tend to go, there's a great thing, the memory foam and all this sort of thing. Well, if you see any studies on sleeping, nobody stays in one place. So you want to have a pillow that if you're lying on your back, and if that's how you start, that the pillow needs to support you behind the neck.
Okay, so something like a feather and down pillow is still good?
Still good.
Okay, you have here, this is really firm, this one. This is really firm, and it's really high. I would think too high from just looking at it myself.
You'll find with people, if a big guy's got a big shoulder, if they're going to lie on this side, you've got the distance through here. So
that's what you should be looking at. I mean, the height of your pillow should be connected to the width of your shoulder.
An easy way to test it, if you've got a partner or somebody at home, if you lie on your back, you want to make sure that the pillow supports behind the neck so the head's not lifted too far off the bed. If you're lying on your side, you want to make sure that the middle of the head lines up with the middle of the shoulder. So if you're lying on the side, if the head's been cranked up, it's going to be putting stress on the neck.
Okay.
Now the question is, if that feels comfortable when somebody's doing that, well then somebody's got a problem in there.
Okay. Let's talk about some of those problems, because you have brought so many props this morning. These are what spines... This is what spine should look like. So lots of sort of... What's this stuff here called?
This is your discs.
These are your discs.
Between the vertebrae, between the bones. They should be nice and thick.
If you've been sleeping poorly or perhaps you've had some kind of injury, you will ruin those discs.
Yeah. Over time, what will happen is when these vertebrae are not moving correctly, there's no movement, so there's no hydration from the discs. The disc will then dehydrate, and as they dehydrate, you then compromise. Okay.
That will be... And people will experience back pain throughout the entire spine when those...
Sometimes. Nothing what happens, we have a saying that pain is often the last thing to come on and the first thing to go. What they'll lose is function first.
Okay, so you might find that you're not moving as well as you can do.
That's right.
If your spine deteriorates, your discs deteriorate, can you get it back? Can you retain the health in it?
Once you get down to these levels through here, it's typically not able to reverse back. You've got to look at stabilising it, and even at this stage, stabilising so it doesn't progress any further. Okay, so as soon as you feel that you have some kind of lack of movement, you should be seeing someone about it? Absolutely. If it's something that's more than, you think it's more than muscular, if it's been going on for more than a couple of days, at least have it checked. It's the easiest thing to find out if it's a muscular thing or if it is a problem with the spine itself. I mean, you would suggest, I guess, if you were noticing any sort of pain at all, go and see a GP first. Who should you go and see first? I'm a chiropractor. I mean, chiropractors specialise in looking at the spine. I mean, that's what we specialise in. GP is a general practitioner. If you're concerned about the spine, I guess the obvious thing is to see somebody who specialises in that. And you don't need a referral to go see a chiropractor, ACC and all that sort of stuff. You can go straight to the chiropractor if you've got any concerns.
Right, Doug, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I learned a lot. How's your back, Paul?
Oh, terrible. It's terrible.
We'll get you up on the table here.
Check him out after.
If you've got, like, see that one at the bottom?
Yep.
That looks
That
like
one's-
a dead person's spine. I mean, if your spine was like that, you wouldn't be able to move at all, would you?
That's this
Well, it's
one
interesting.
here.
It's like when you look at that, if that's 2 segments of the spine, the rest of the body then compensates. And what often happens is that's where the people feel the pain.
Oh, so some pieces
Referred
of spine
pain.
could be okay?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Because
So you're
I
not
was
all like
worried
this?
about that person. I was very worried. Could you
that.
sleep on that? Could you sleep on something?
I could sleep on... There's
You
2
pull
pillows
parts out.
there.
Yeah, you can pull parts. The cool thing about this type of pillow, you can actually adapt the shape.
Just quickly while you're here, how often should you be replacing your pillow?
Really when the pillow loses its stability, like a bed. When you look at a bed, you take the covers off the bed. If that bed's got a dip in it, well then the bed's lost its spring.
hideous.
So that is probably more regularly
How
than
much
most
is this
of us
gonna
change
cost?
our pillows.
That one I think retails for about 80.
Oh, crazy.
Not too bad.
$80.
For a good
You can
night's
get
sleep.
pillows. You can get 2 pillows for $9.99 at the warehouse.
And they'll be like those sheets that you brought to and they'll treat you well.
I'm chucking those sheets out, honestly. You should try and sleep with me.